The great challenges of the 21st century are fighting world poverty and managing climate change. We succeed or fail on those two things together. If we fail to manage climate change, we will irreparably undermine development. If we try to manage climate change in a way that places obstacles in the way of overcoming world poverty in the next 2 or 3 decades, we will fail and deserve to fail to put together the basic coalition which is essential at a global level to deal with this crisis. We know roughly the scale of the action we need to make as a world, and we also know roughly where we have to act. It's about energy efficiency, it's about low carbon energy, it's about stopping deforestation. Those are the big things, big areas where we have to act. What we need now is political will. And the global deal in Copenhagen is the way we have to embody that political will, and we have to build that up during these short months that remain between now and the beginning of December. I believe as we look forward, as we must soon, beyond the Millennium Development Goals, beyond 2015, and ask how the Millennium Development Goals should be recast and continued beyond 2015, we should recognize the extra costs of climate change. And my own belief is that when we do those calculations, we'll come up with numbers not 0.7% of GDP, but something like 1% of GDP, or possibly more. And that's something which we have to get going on and do. The big growth opportunities of the next 2 or 3 decades will be in the low-carbon technologies. This is a story which is similar or bigger than the railways, the electricity, the motor car, IT. This is something that can sustain the growth of the world for an extended period in a very attractive way. As we come out of this recession, we must lay the foundations for that, and not as we came out of the dot-com bubble in a way that laid the foundation for the housing bubble, which burst with such devastating consequences around us. Let us also remember that this economic crisis is hitting developing countries very hard. Trade in both commodities and manufacturing is collapsing. Flows to emerging markets are sharply down. Remittances are sharply down. Developing countries are suffering as a result of a crisis which was created in the rich world, just as the planetary crisis was created largely in the rich world. We must respond in a way that doesn't make things worse. In 2009, we could have a real coordination of our economic response to the economic crisis. That would be very powerful, and it would be a first in economic collaboration. We could complete the WTO and bring trade back to the center of the agenda where it should be. We could and we must get a strong agreement in Copenhagen, and we could recommit to the Millennium Development Goals in the recognition of how much more difficult they have become in the context of a changing climate. If we did all those things in 2009, it would be a fantastic year for the world. Thank you.